here. No one's really going to be going for him, but Nitsky was just on top of it, and he's back on top of it. He's having such a breakout split. He's just really coming back to form.
Certainly is, and he's one of the people that we're going to be keeping our eyes on this game. An incredibly stellar game one. His team fighting was spectacular. The fact that he didn't die in what was a very bloody game, as Eljoya makes his way into 113's jungle.
And the Realm Warp come in as well. Niski looking for him. Does land the Realm Warp, but the Blast Cone. The environment in favor of Astralis.
Oh, the dive.
Yeah, they're going to keep going with this one here. But this time around, Astralis are ready and willing to back away. Don't believe they can go for this one just yet. They will not have a heal here onto the Nami, but plenty of damage.
I really thought Eljoya was just going to Q and one-shot Zhonghun then. Very squishy Nami, of course. I guess he was cautious of the flash. And then once you go in on the Vi, unless there aren't many ways for you to get out. But the damage is done. Look at all these farm. Oh, all these farm. Look at all these minions the Astralis bot lane is losing right now.
Losing a lot of minions, but I'm going to look at the gold right now because you can see Niski and Karzi, definitely the biggest benefactors, or beneficiaries, excuse me. I think believe you and Medic.
Oh, you did a Vedi.
I did a Vedi. I did a Vedi. I'm a mini Medic, but inside I'm a mini Vedi, you know? It's just how it is. Man. But again, look at the the two carries on the side of Mad Lions doing what they need to do, which is getting that early gold.
Can you actually show me the gold very quickly?
Yes,
actually, maybe you won't have time to. I was curious if he's going to. There it is, the Bloodthirster and Boots picked up for Karzi. Of course, with the itemization changes, there was a lot of discussion around which champions would be the best. Well, beneficiaries of the change.
I love how you were like, no, I'm not going to give him the satisfaction. I'm going to think about this and come at it from a different angle.
But it's, because now you can just rush the BT. The value, like you can go BT into Infinity Edge, and like that's a really powerful two-item spike for the Draven, because you don't necessarily need an attack speed item on the Draven, right? Because you do have the Steroid on your W, which is what you'll end up maxing second. So you can see as well, for those at home unfamiliar with our UI, you can see stacks in the top right corner of Karzi's icon on the right-hand side of your screen. So you can see right now he's sitting at 113. So you at home can keep track yourself of the stacks, and this is true for a number of other champions in our league, just for your awareness. The Rift Herald will go down in favor of Astralis. The question is, well, they look to invest that as Dior is hovering around the bot side of the map. This will give window for Niski, though, to just keep pushing and secure some plates for himself. Yeah,
you know exactly what's going on. They've read the playbook, know what you can do. I will say, you've got Eljoya kind of sitting here in the jungle, so with level 6 just hit, might be in a little bit of trouble. There's the Evercross coming out. Eljoya flashes away. They're going to go fully in on top of this. A 2v1, though. Going to be a 2v2. As they're going to try and make this one work. Eljoya does end up going down. Nice Cataclysm. They're jumping straight back in on top of Niski. But the Whirling Death does not land on top of him. Niski will be able to move away. Will it be his first death of the series? Yes, it will. Now Hylissang is way overextended, and Astralis are coming to life.
Just like that, Astralis find themselves 3 kills. Eljoya 2 levels behind Dior. You've got to remember that a fully item completed for Dior means that he has a lot of power much earlier in the game than he should. And Eljoya was not expecting that amount of damage. The Herald now being dropped in mid means that Kobe is going to get even more gold off the back of this too. But the biggest thing, and the biggest reason why Astralis ended up walking away the victors, was because Kobe and Zhonghun were able to collapse first. This means that also Kobe secured himself a kill. And Astralis, while not finding the gold lead just yet, are in a much more commanding position. Just look at the damage from Dior here. Eljoya uses his ultimate at the same time, so both end up becoming unstoppable. And you think at the point at which Dior goes over the wall that Niski is actually going to lose his life, but he has the damage to secure the kill. Then 113 does commit the flash to getting on top of Niski to help him secure that. You can see that while the Draven does arrive, it's much later than that of Kobe and Zhonghun, meaning that the numbers advantage go in favor of Astralis, and they're able to find the kills. 7-5 is now the kill lead. There's only really a 400 gold difference. And Astralis definitely looking a lot more alive in this early game.
It's interesting as well, because of all the movement that we've seen. Yes, it is 7-5 in favor of Astralis. A Dragon, a Rift Herald, lots of small little advantages they've been able to improve for themselves. Chasey not going to pull the trigger on his flash just yet, or on his explosive cast, but it is Mad Lions, like you just mentioned, a little bit of a gold lead, and it's down to the fact that Eljoya's just been farming, straight up, like he's just been trying his best to kind of get this, advantage up to him, and just keep his lanes just kind of topped up. So regardless of the objective and kill wins going in favor of Astralis, Mad Lions are keeping themselves very, very healthy in the gold department.
Pings are all coming down onto the bot lane. There will be a control ward spawning out Eljoya. Karzi should be able to catch this wave. And keep your eyes on the mid now. Astralis were fighting with Niski for the mid-wave control. And the moment they spot out Elyoya on the bot lane, they're like, hey, this river belongs to us now. We can move in. That's exactly what Zhonghoon and 113 are going to do. Now, Dior has joined the battle. He's collapsed in from top lane. Finn has TP, which he can use to go back to top. Let's see what Chasey will do. He should have to TP into mid.
Here we go, 113. Maybe he doesn't want the actual fight at all, or excuse me, not the dragon. He wants to fight. They're going to use the tidal wave and just burst him out. Welcome to the bounce house. And while it's been happening, Dior uses his own explosive cast that he stole. Use it against the side of Mad Lions, but a good pick there. They even actually get the TP out of Chasey, who was kind of a non-factor in that fight completely.
4 deaths now on Elyoya. Very uncharacteristic of him, but he has been the focus. Kobe with good damage.
Oh, good flash as well. He completely sidesteps the CC coming out from Chasey. They're putting in a little bit of damage here, but that's still a full AP Gragas. He will still hurt. You're in the middle of minions right now. Nami is very much at kill pressure right now. Chasey looking for it. The whirling death is coming in, and Carzzy gets his stacks again.
Well played by Chasey. Flash E-ing to CC Zhonghoon long enough to allow the ultimate from Carzzy to connect. Seeing both the arrow and the Draven ultimate fly past. Very rare that you ever see that combo come together, but Mad Lions once again secure the gold lead. But props to Kobe, 4 kills. I mean, how crazy is this? He has 4 kills, 2 assists, a fully completed item, and he's still behind in gold to Carzzy.
Power of Draven.
The power of Draven. He cashed in. I wasn't keeping track of how many stacks, but I think he was around 150 or so. So a lot of money went into his back pocket.
400 or so. If you want to know the pure maths of it, it's stacks times 2.5 plus 40.
Oh, cool. Yeah, no, I totally, yeah, right there, yeah. Let me
yeah, no, man, I just want, you know what?
Yeah, now I know exactly how much gold he got. I'm just not going to tell you.
You know what? You'll tell spoilers, but you won't tell the stats.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
just how this works.
Yeah. If you're not going to do the math yourself, then
yeah. Why even here? But Elyoya is going to try and make this one work. The tidal wave was good to try and disconnect 113, but he gets shut down. That's more gold going to the Draven. Carzzy, though, in a lot of trouble, means he gets shut down. There's 2 kills, and they're going to continue this one on. The Realm Walk doesn't get taken by anybody. Niski, though, still very healthy. And all of a sudden, this is Astralis kind of putting the pressure here onto Mad Lions. They finally get themselves a goal lead.
Kobe is slaughtering right now. 6-1 and 3 is the scoreline, and the man is becoming a monster. He's moving around these fights beautifully, and he's just picking up kill after kill. And what looked like 113 getting caught out of position was very quickly punished. What's crazy is the fact that the gold is still so close. It feels like that it should be much worse than it is. And again, like, you see 113 clearing out this ward. Like, it is a bit risky from 113 overall, but Carzzy, he can't quite land the autos that he wants, and so he commits to flashing over to securing this kill. But he puts himself in range of Kobe, and now there's no peel for him, so the culling just eviscerates Carzzy. Then Dior shows up, and at this point you realize that the collapse is real from Astralis as they secure 3 kills. And again, like, the gold is dead even, and a large part of that is because of mid lane. You can see that Niski is still very far ahead thanks to the farm that he's been picking up, and Carzzy, largely because of the CS lead that he has alongside the stacks that he's been able to cash in. It means that this gold stays very, very even. When you kind of look across the itemization, I mean, yeah, I would agree. Sometimes, I would say that if I was mad, I would feel weak right now. And I think the large part of that is because of how bullied Elyoya has been. He is a large part of your front line. Of course, he is only running on a black cleaver right now, but I fully believe that Kobe could just kill that Vi right now with, like, little struggle as well. And with the arrow.
Arrow does land. They're going to try and jump at Dior, who throws it back. Oh my god, that damage! The stopwatch stops him from getting coxed upon as well. Now Carzzy flashes a wave, gets jumped on by the Cataclysm. They're going to try and kill him off before he can do anything else. Dior with a double, Dior with a triple, and Astralis are putting down Mad Lions.
Really good fight comes out from Astralis, and we're continuing to see them claw ahead, and that was largely just an execution difference. Dior completely outplayed Mad Lions with a really good stolen Ash Arrow and a stopwatch too to just buy enough time. And we get to see the strengths of this composition and how much value the dive has. Remember that Kazi doesn't have flash, and you're going to need to remember that fact later, because look at this stopwatch here from Dior. Is able to mitigate the ultimate from Chasey. The Elyoya can't really get involved in the fight either. He tries to peel for his AD carry, but this ultimate locks down Kazi. There's nothing he can do, making it very easy for Dior to get into the fight and clean up the kills to secure a triple kill. Now, both of the big carries for Astralis find themselves with 6 kills.
Again, look, it's just great from Astralis. We saw from the interview with Trouble and AOD is that we needed to shake things up. We needed to be a bit more aggressive and try and get this going back in our favor. It's exactly what they've done. I don't know what they were talking about or what they had backstage when they went in for that, post-game 1 kind of break, but it's clearly working. And Mad Lions, they're going to need to try and find a different solution to what they're actually being thrown up against.
We saw it yesterday where it looked like with such a convincing game 1, there was nothing that the other team could do. It was going to be a clean 2-0, but I'm sure you've seen this a fair share over in the LPL as well. Game 1 looks like a stomp, then you go into game 2, and the team that just lost almost looks more motivated than ever after that initial loss. I guess that's what you want to see from the pros. Not being disheartened by the first loss and recognizing the areas of improvement, and then basically being able to slash through your weaknesses, just quickly overcome and grow as players. The Dragon is alive. You expect this to be the next big objective that both these teams fight for.
Again, it's why the best of threes have been honestly applauded throughout most of the community of the saying, like, look, getting this in, being more competitive, because in a best of 1, anything can happen, and that's the the beauty of it and also the bad side of it, because for Astralis, if this was a best of 1, they would have lost. Go home. You don't have anything else to do today, but because it's a best of 3, they can adapt, they can change, they can move themselves into a slightly different formation that gives them what they would believe is a better advantage. And now, putting themselves on soul point, that's not just any soul point, that is the Hex soul point. Huge value for this entire team.
Looks like the cross map is going to come through. Astralis going to drop this bot, should be able to secure that tower. Mad Lions doing the same thing top side. But the pressure's now on for Mad Lions. This game is being accelerated, and these side lane threats are very real. Lucian quickly getting closer to that 3rd item, which is very likely going to be the Infinity Edge. We see the clock continuing to tick away. Baron is going to be up in a minute's time. Next Dragon, obviously not for a while. You already talked about the Soul. Yeah, Astralis, we talked about at the beginning of the day, is this a team that is being underestimated? Well, coming into game 2, they've definitely shown us more than I think many were expecting.
Absolutely, and giving themselves a little bit of a lifeline. Look, it's not over just yet. They obviously have plenty of games to still play. You still got to execute. You've had a great start. You're now on 2 items, as you mentioned, on your 2 core carries of Deor and Kave, but they're going to jump straight onto Karzi, who flashes away but gets flashed on immediately afterwards. TP's going to be coming in afterwards. 113 may have gone a little bit too far forward. The tidal wave will be good, and Karzi cannot move. Right now, Astralis have found the weak link in Mad, and it has been that 80 carry.
Jump in from Finn, not going to be able to convert it into anything. But the reality is that with the 80 carry dead, Astralis can keep the push going. The Baron is alive, and they can threaten that.
Baron's not alive. 3 seconds.
Oh, I looked at the timer in the top right. Now the Baron is alive.
Now it's alive. But that's the thing. In most situations, you would have seen them turn and burn, try and get more pressure, force Mad Lions into a bad situation, but it's too early. But again, just great kind of focus right now, saying, look, find Karzi, kill Karzi.
And the thing is, from 113 here, is the moment he got the flash, I think he could have left. He could have just allowed Karzi to flash away and then disengage. And the fact that he almost lost his life here, if it went for Zhonghun, could have been very bad.
Oh,
he's dead.
Yeah, he's not going to burn anything here. I don't expect him to try and go for that. But now, a lot of players from Mad Lions are on that bot side. Do you look for this Baron? There's no real vision whatsoever. They're going to start it off.
No reason not to. You can see the Vi making her way over. Can Elyoya get the steal? That's the only thing that they need to be concerned about right now.
Oh, but Kobby, he's got damage. He's going to jump straight in. They actually deleted him. Kobby just went away from the map right now, but now Finn trying to jump in here with the Jacks to try and burn down some of these health bars. They are very, very low. Will not land. The Abductor trying to jump on the Niski now, get the CC onto him, but Elyoya is trying to save out his jungler. Finn will be traded there for the jungle of Mad Lions and Astralis. They went for the turnaround, but Kobby just got nothing done.
That was a one team fight for Mad, and they were even able to shut down Kobby. Good positioning for Mad overall. The fact that they could shut that down buys them a little bit more time. Astralis were playing with confidence, but the Baron, she is an illustrious mistress that has led many teams to their doom. And and it felt like that Astralis were one step away from giving Mad Lions the comeback. But let's have a look back and see exactly what fell short. And you talked about Kobe. Just keep your eyes on Elyoya here. He goes for the fight with Elyoya. He gets queued into ult into dead. Niski with the combo. Dior tries to peel, but he can't quite get onto Niski. Instead, he focuses on Chasey, and you can see the damage coming out from this rise. Kazi coming in for the flank as well. It's at this point that Dior realizes he needs to disengage. While they do get that kill onto Elyoya, Kazi cashes in once more. Not a huge cash in, admittedly, but still another kill going over to him. He's getting close to that Infinity Edge himself. Will they start off the Baron once again? I hope not. And they won't. They're just going to clear out this vision for now.
Like a concerned parent. Please don't.
You guys are doing great. Really proud of you right now.
However,
let's not ruin this.
Yeah. Well, you've got Dragon in a minute. You've got yourself potential soul. We can't, you know, again, understate, I think, the value you will have with that as Elyoya goes forward there, and they're going to find Dayor completely isolated. They're going to send everyone on top of this Sylas. He goes into stasis because they know there's no real way they can take him away. Now Mad Lions find themselves in a 5v4.
We saw this last game. Dior got picked off a number of times before the fight even started, or even during the fight. And him losing his life here, I feel it could have been a lot worse, but Mad recognized that the Dragon spawns in 30 seconds.
Yep.
So while getting that pick is good, you committed a TP, and you don't have any setup around this Drake. I mean, let's just have a look as I bring up the minimap. You'll notice, like, zero vision whatsoever. Observers, if you can just show us what Mad Lions see right now, and you can see that it is not a lot.
They see blue buff.
Yeah.
I know that's there.
Now, they do have, of course, these two things. Hang on, let me get rid of that real quick. They do have this available, and they just used another one, I believe, on our screens right there to try and get a bit of information, but they need to gain control over this mid wave. In fact, no, they're actually going to... Are they going to give this one up and exchange it for the Baron?
Oh, it's risky. You can see they're tempted by the idea.
Jax is starting it. Jax is starting it. The pressure's now on for Mad. They have to make a decision. They completely conceded the bot lane objective.
Shot is good, as is the Scryer's Bloom that you highlighted earlier, but you're nowhere near to kind of moving forward to this because Astralis said, cool, we know you're not going on the Baron. We don't need to lean towards top side. We can just protect the Jax while still threatening you in mid. He stopped it.
He has stopped it. He was a little bit afraid about the collapse. Chasey is in a choke point here. 113 goes in.
113 goes in. Chasey True is Everfrost. Completely blind. There's going to be the Ash Arrow. Misses, but it is a very short cooldown. Do not get deceived by that. It is already going to start ticking away. So you've got an opportunity here as Astralis as they move in now. 113 going to go in straight away. Gets the Cataclysm down onto Niski and Hylissang. Hylissang is dead. Dayor goes on a trip way into the backside there, but is followed by 113 and by Finn. They're jumping on the Niski. The solo laners are dead. Astralis looked themselves in the eye during the break and said, that's not good enough. They're coming into game 2 with a plan.
And now the jungler of Mad is being zoned away. Astralis with a fantastic team fight. We're able to execute cleanly. Elyoya is dead.
Yeah.
No risk of a smite. Kazi doesn't have his ultimate. That means that 5 for 4 at the end of the day. They can very quickly convert that into the Dragon as well, and Astralis is looking to equalize the series.
This is great from Astralis, and honestly, they've really, you know, there has been 1 or 2 small mistakes, but this game too has been night and day as we look at this fight, because they just find a commit. 113 goes, and he keeps going.
Watch Kazi. The reason why I'm telling you is because he's doing absolutely nothing in this fight. He cannot get involved. He's completely isolated from his team. And Astralis is just capitalizing on the fact that Kobe can just tear through the opposition on the backline. You saw 3 members diving on top of Niski, and this is the big difference that we saw from game 1 to game 2. The composition is just easier to execute when it comes to the 5 versus 5. It's so much easier once the Jarvan goes in for Dior and Finn to just follow up and execute whatever target they've decided to lock down. And now Astralis find themselves with a soul, with a Baron, and with a win in their eyes.
This Red Bull Baron power play is going to be paying pretty big dividends now, complemented with a side of a Hex Soul, the slow, the extra damage. And again, this Draven, it's a great pick if it can get ahead. And honestly, as you said earlier, despite the multitude of kills that went over to Kobe early, the Draven was keeping instead. He was keeping himself relevant because he was getting cash-ins. That's completely gone now because he's just a short-range AD carry that's just going to be a little bit weaker. You don't have Niski here to try and defend this right now. And with Dayor having the pick of the litter of any of these ultimates, pretty much all of them are great for him. He's going to be able to zone out everybody. They're already on the Nexus.
Astralis threatening the Nexus towers. Kobe not chipping away. He's tearing apart that tower. Now they move back towards mid, waiting for the next mid wave to come. Mikhail's going to keep this 1-1-3 completely safe. And that's going to be the base in tatters. Mad Lions looking for an opportunity to force a fight, but Astralis not going to give it to them. The base into TP from Finn, perhaps. They have their eyes on Kazi.
Yeah, they're going to go for Kazi there, and there's just nothing he can do. They're getting Hylissang after. Good bubble, getting the triple knock-up. This is Astralis through and through. They looked their weakness, they slashed it down, and they came back fighting in game number 2. We are going the full 3 games.
Astralis, they recognize some of the failures in to play an all-in bot lane, but given that they do have the priority, and also Hilly hasn't played a melee support all split long. He hasn't. I asked this question to Medic, do you consider Thresh a melee champion? He said no, in which case, yeah, he has Lulu, Thresh, Yuumi, Nami, Ashe. No melee supports.
Well, we'll see what he ends up kind of going for. It's definitely a different feel for Hylissang coming into the split. Has been fairly successful, but
he's been great.
Yeah,
I've been a big fan of Hilly this year. I know that, like, obviously as a player, his history is that of like a bit of a coin flip player. He, like, you kind of, if you don't love him at his worst, how can you love him at his best type of mentality when it comes to Hilly. But this split, incredibly consistent. Loved what we've been seeing from him. He did get caught out once or twice last game, but you know, when you are playing that Ashe support, that does happen. It seems that with regards to the bans, the Lucian will now be taken off. Does mean that Varus is up and available. Wouldn't be surprised to see Mad Lions prioritize that. It is, of course, Kazi's most played AD carry of the split. And, I mean, it's good. It's just good.
Feels like a slogan for LEC from Vedius. It's good.
Oh, so, a couple things here. Remember, our conversation earlier, 113 doesn't play Maokai.
Yes.
Hasn't played it this split. They banned it on blue side last game, and so Mad have said, why don't we just pick Sejuani then? So, like, because if you always trade Sejuani for Maokai and you know that the enemy jungler won't play Maokai, then you just get yourself a Sejuani with something that you know scales better and offers great utility.
Absolutely. So, as you said as well, 113 doesn't play the Maokai, or at least hasn't shown it to be comfortable on the stage. So, gonna go back towards that Vi. Goldberg will be a little upset about that. He feels like it may be a little bit of a bait, but I don't think he really had much choice. Yeah.
I mean, but I would still even prefer something like the Jarvan at the very least, right? If you're gonna go for something where you know the games have just been decided by the team fights, continue to pick something that is strong by the team fight, or even save your jungle pick for later on in the draft when you can see a little bit more, and instead prioritize the Sylas, like you have been doing, right? You could just right now draft yourself your bot side, so you could go for the Ezreal Karma if you wanted to. Oh, okay, Aphelios Thresh, a bit of a throwback, an old school bot lane. I wonder with the itemization changes to AD carries, if this has risen Aphelios up in priority, if something that teams have been scrimming, but it's a bot lane that is tried and true, and last year, Aphelios, Jinx, this was the meta, right?
If you played AD carry in 2022, you played Aphelios. Yeah. That was just kind of how it was. So we are going to see the Jax again for Finn up in that top side. So giving him, and honestly, he's had some fantastic games. Even in game 1 where they lost, he did get a couple of solo kills to himself as well. So really like this prioritization for the side of Astralis. But now, with
Sylas. It's
yeah,
Sylas. You have to ban the Sylas.
Probably the Rise as well. Or
well,
Kassadin.
Maybe. Because the thing about it, if you lock in Rise, remember Matt have the Cassio as an option. I was going to say the other thing you can do is ban away AD carries, but I think Ezreal is now what they're going to go for, and I think the Sylas is just too good for Dior. It's his most comfortable champion. It's something that he's very proficient at, and you can steal away the Sejuani ultimate. Stealing away the box also has its fair share of value. Like, it's just a good ban.
Yeah.
I think it's a really good ban.
Again, we go back to that quote you just gave me. It's just good. That's just how it is. It's going to be your mantra for life now. But more AD kind of melee solo laners being taken off. We saw this from Astralis in game 1, but this time around it is kind of a part and parcel due to the Sejuani. You do not want to give her easy stacking, so something like the Renekton, the Jace is exceptionally powerful at doing that. And with the final ban, Mad Lions will decide whether or not they want to double down. Yes, they go with the Ezreal this time around. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised maybe even just to see a Sivir come out here for Cobby.
Yeah, you're right. Definitely an option. You have a very short range comp if you do decide to go for the Ezreal. Part of me thinks that he might look at something like a Xayah. But, yeah, you did talk about the Civet. Looks like that's the direction that they're... Oh, hang on a second.
Now we don't talk about harbors.
Well,
that's the rule.
I'm falling for the trap.
Yeah.
He's just going through a champion. Twitch!
Okay. All right. Bit of spice coming out from Astralis. They recognize that, look, what gave us the advantage in game number 2 was a little bit of a, you know, a different kind of setup, a different draft. The Jarvan obviously coming in. This time around, they're going with the Twitch.
Twitch. Wow. He's a champion that I know many believed could be a big beneficiary of
so
the AD carry changes.
Medics at home, just like wiping a proud tear away.
I'm excited to see his itemization, what direction he decides to go as Mad Lions round out their draft. Very reminiscent of what we saw in game 1. The Casio
Love this.
Locked in for Dior. This is the Niski special. For those that have followed Niski throughout his career, he's always been like the Casio guy in Europe. So the fact that Dior is bringing it out against him, or is he? Wait.
Oh, we're gonna wait. We're gonna wait until it goes down. But this could be a Casio bot lane and a Twitch support with Karma mid just to mitigate that mid lane pressure from the Azir. This is creative. This is very, very interesting if they do stick with it.
I'm gonna hold my breath and we're just gonna wait. Normally I would wait. 20 seconds is the time at which you're allowed. And I don't know what 20 seconds is. That's locked.
We just got confirmation. That is locked. That is a Casio Twitch bot lane.
Okay, I was not expecting Casio Twitch. The idea that the Karma could be flexed wasn't even something that I was playing with. I've been completely caught off guard. I imagine Mad Lions, but you can see the smiles on Hilly's faces. Mad are excited. They're laughing. Astralis is excited as well. Okay, so the energy is good for both teams. The spirits are high. We're getting into game 3. Reminder that the winner will continue to move on through the upper bracket, whereas the loser still has a chance. 2 losses in the best of 3s and you're out. 2 wins mean that you move on to the top 4 and the playoffs of winter.
Don't forget, though, as well, you've got to be careful of falling into that lower bracket because you will consistently stay there even throughout to playoffs. But we're going to see how this one 100% ends up being. Astralis bringing out a new comp as we jump onto the Rift for game number 3.
Mac, thank you so much for joining me. Really quick question before we jump into this spicy draft is, what went wrong in game 2?
I think we were just a little bit impatient a couple times. We had a couple sloppy fights, and then suddenly Draven has no flash, and you're playing against Jarvan, and it feels kind of bad. So, yeah.
That kind of sucks, right? Now, when it comes to this draft, Astralis are throwing a curveball. They're playing it all for all. They've got a very spicy draft. Were you guys prepared for this, or were you surprised?
I was not expecting the Twitch Cassiopeia bot lane.
So I'm expecting that was a surprise for you and all of us. Well, Mac, thank you very much for the quick interview. Back to you guys at the Casa desk.
Don't think anyone was expecting the
He didn't
Casio
share a lot
Twitch.
with us, did he?
Yeah,
He just said,
I mean,
I wasn't expecting that.
But I expect the unexpected, so it doesn't count.
Yeah.
Well, look, you know, it is something that is a fringe solo queue thing, I suppose. You just get the double poison.
Well, I was going to talk about poison. Yeah, a song is in my head. You know, the poison. Do you know that song I'm talking about?
What was it? You're poison.
Oh, Britney
That's
Spears.
That's what I was going with.
No, I do know that one. Yeah, that's cool. See how many poison references we can get in here. This is going to be a fun mini game for us. And you guys can play along at home as well. Can we go to bot lane observers very quickly? I want to see what this Twitch is up to.
It's going to be a little bit of a nuisance as he just goes in, just wants to get some Halo Blade procs going in. They will get the Ignite as well. And this is the Twin Fang, the double poison. It did take you down. Look, Hylissang went from about a third to a quarter over a couple of seconds.
Wait, so hang on. I'll be honest, I've never played a Casio Twitch bot lane, but does that apply if the enemy is poisoned, right? So let me have a quick... But does his passive count as a poison?
I believe so.
Because if it does, that's... Because I knew Singed Casio was a thing.
Because it's both purple.
Yes. I've been confirmed that it fact does apply. So, I mean, like, it makes a lot of sense, the bot lane 2 versus 2. And you already talked about the lethality of it as well, and we already saw that in bot lane. Jonghoon, level 1, roaming top lane. Everyone in solo queue has experienced this at some point.
Yes.
The super obnoxious Twitch support. Normally it is AP as well, which means that it's just even more annoying because the poison damage is just so lethal. And here he comes, he's hiding.
He's looking for something right now. The wave is being pushed in. The knockback there onto Chasey. Hello! When your flash is burned, you have to respect the damage. And all of a sudden, Astralis are finding advantages across the map.
Oh, I love Twitch quotes. They're just so annoying. Yeah. The fact that he just pops up out of nowhere, but Eljoya is looking to get something back, making his way up towards top lane.
Yeah, no vision here whatsoever. Good knockback. Finn's in a lot of trouble here.
Oh,
Even takes a tower hit. He's not going to flash because he knows he is dead. Looks like the Rat gave him a little bit too much confidence because that was just great pathing there from Eljoya.
Yeah, the awkward thing for Finn was that the wave wasn't quite underneath the tower, and he was trying to just get that push in. But because of its awkward positioning, it meant that Eljoya could look for that gank, and he did do a full clear bot side into the top lane gank. Now he's going to secure himself the Scuttle Crab. And Finn is in a bit of an awkward spot right now. Chasey can go back to base, look to get the TP back in, and you can see how this wave is in a very comfortable spot right now for Chasey. So overall, Jonghoon being annoying on the map, but not really converting it into anything significant. Just a bit of bullying, both in the bot lane 2 versus 2 and in the top lane. Oh, and Chasey can keep this freeze in the top lane as well. Really nice positioning for Chasey overall.
I will say I like the idea coming out from Astralis because, let's be real, it's a Felios and a Thresh in that bot side. Cassio's not really going to be under much threat in the first few levels, so you can just kind of let her do her thing. She'll stack up a tier, she'll get herself towards her first item. No boots, so Sag, but Astralis will need to try and make this one work now. You can kind of see that this is the thing. When you pick something like this in the bot side with the Cassio and the Twitch, it's on you to make it work and to make it valuable. You're going to see a flash being burnt there as plenty of good damage coming out here. Ignite from Hylissang does get burnt, but the flash in response by Cubby.
Now, I know technically this doesn't count as a melee champion, but we all know Hylissang for his playmaking supports. And a very clean hook comes out into the Ignite with the damage from Kazi, this bot lane, unperturbed by the Cassio Twitch bot lane, and they've managed it incredibly well so far. The CS is very even. They didn't fall prey to the early level 1 cheese, and they've been able to stabilize, get a good base off. So impressive stuff. And now Eljoya looking to get a bit of deep vision down towards the bot side of the map. Will be spotted out on the wards littered by Astralis' duo. But overall, good stuff from the Mad Lions. Astralis, let's see what else they can get on the map. 1-1-3, looking to secure the Gromp. Jonghoon clearing out the vision now. But we'll have to see him start roaming around the map more. He has picked up the Amp Tome, so it looks like we will be seeing that AP Twitch as well.
Most likely the AP Twitch, and with all the craziness in the bot lane and all the things we needed to talk about, we actually never really got to talk about this Karma mid, and curious to see what kind of a build we do see, because we have seen a couple of solo lane Karmas go for that Radiant Virtue. I'll pause myself as we might see an early Dragon contest. The flash forward into the Gravitum to try and burn down 1-1-3, and they will get it. There is a Lantern as well. Dayor in a hell of a lot of trouble himself. Eljoya, though, getting caught out by the Dragon. On the bot side of that one there, the Cassiopeia recognizing there's no flash on the Aphelios, and they trade it back 1 for 1. Flash for flash. Eljoya stays alive.
Okay, so as you rightly said, 1 for 1. The Dragon doesn't end up going down. Niski can still catch this wave, and Kobe looking to try and push in bot as quickly as possible before Kazi gets back into lane. But what an engage from Kazi. Flashes in to just land the root onto 1-1-3 to actually kick off the play. Eljoya can't really even get involved in the fight because the fight was kind of in 2 parts with 1-1-3 and Dayor on the top side and Kobe and Jonghoon on the bottom. And you'll see, like, what a crazy play from Kazi. Flashes in, lands the root, doesn't care about the damage. He also gets hit by the Dragon a couple times, and he realizes he's in a bit of an awkward position as he tries to take the Lantern to safety. But the poison stacking from Kobe, the damage is relentless, and he's able to trade back a kill. And overall, I would say that that was pretty worth for Kobe. Already started working towards that Rod of Ages now. Still though, Mad Lions, as they often do, find themselves with an early game gold lead.
And it is really kind of just centered around that top side for the unfortunate wave position, the kill, Chasey kind of getting the first real advantage in this top side against Finn that we've seen all series. Finn has really had his number pretty much the first game and second, so this is nice to see Chasey on the Cassante, which we know can just take over those mid-game fights and getting himself a little bit of priority.
What's cool about the Cassio bot lane as well is that you can just leave it isolated.
Yeah.
It's a pretty safe mage overall because she's a very difficult champion to dive with her grounding, with her ultimate. There's a lot of risk associated, and unless you start by landing a Thresh hook and then you follow it up with a Sejuani ultimate, like, she can very easily turn that situation around. So because she knows that, that then gives her the ability to just sit in lane. Look, already level 6. Zhonghoon, very underleveled right now, but he's going to be roaming around. And the annoying thing about invisibility is you always have to respect it. Every time Twitch moves into Fog of War, he could show up anywhere.
Yeah, well, they're going to show up on this bot side. It's not going to be the Twitch, but 113 immediately flashes away. He gets hit by the ultimate, but Hylissang was taken very, very low. The damage is ticking, but he will not fall down. And that's going to be Mad Lions just kind of taking advantage of an overzealous 113.
So good punish there from the Mad Lions. They're able to get themselves another kill.
Oh,
second.
The all out to make in the all in. He's going to move forward here. Dayor is around. He's going to try and bait him in, though, as he try and look for this one. The shield is good. They get the root down. Dayor now in a little bit of a 1v1. I don't think he wants this right now. He's saying, look, I don't want to deal with your mess, but Chasey is very, very low. Oh, Chasey messes up the flash, gets hit by the chain, and Dayor says, thank you very much.
Chasey played that incredibly well up until he needed to flash over the wall. And he ends up losing his life. Does mean that Elyoya can get a cross map off as they saw Vi on the mid lane. But yeah, hate to see it. We've all done it. We all know what it's like. Let's have a look back at this play. Level 6 on 113, trying to land the grounding here onto Hylissang, but he's not really the one in danger. 113 is the one that's forced to escape. Hylissang gets very low, but is able to get away with his life. And just a good collapse overall from the Mad Lions. As Dior looking for a bit of damage on Deniski, but he should be fine.
Just got an update from our fantastic producers. Last time we saw a Cassiopeia bot, don't know if you remember it, week 8 of 2019, spring, Fnatic versus G2, and what was dubbed the match of the century.
Oh, really?
Yes, allegedly. I don't know who's dubbing it that, but that's what I've been told.
So it must have been Perks.
Sorry,
Cassio, right?
Our producer Evan has been has dubbed it. Literally screamed to me in my ear. But again, been a fair while since we've seen that, and it has just kind of been a nice change. So, 113. You are very by yourself for the moment, but you will have plenty of support now. Remember, you can see the Twitch went towards that top side. Your Thresh is still bot. There's a 4v3 in favor of Astralis, and Mad Lions, they recognize that.
Golf claps from the audience as Rift Tower is secured. This does mean that Mad can threaten a few tower plates in the bot lane. No real risk of a dive, though. Zhonghoon hiding in the Fog of War. Hasn't been spotted. Oh, our observer's highlighting beautifully how Chasey doesn't know.
Well, doesn't look like Zhonghoon is going to go for anything just yet. He's waiting, looking to see if he can maybe make something work. Remember, it's kind of just Finn and nothing else in terms of your CC. It has to be the counter-strike. He's going to put himself right in the backside, and they're going to try and make this one work. Remember, no flash here. The Unstoppable does keep Chasey alive for the moment, tries to go all out and keep himself alive, and will do just that. Cassante in a million dashes.
Wow, so I was really excited about that, and it was really anticlimactic. Chasey literally just walked out. I thought he could have actually killed the Twitch, to be honest, but he said that it wasn't worth it. Elyoya threatening a gank himself, but oh, Finn, oh no, does he know?
He does now, and a little bit too little, too late. He doesn't have flash himself, so Finn goes into the W, gets CC'd again, and that's going to be another kill over to Chasey. 2, 1, and 0. This Cassante is getting obnoxious, Vedi.
It's a situation where every time Zhonghoon ganks, Elyoya's like, yeah, you know what, funnily enough, I can do that better than you can, and then he goes and kills Finn. Because he always gets that wave pushed, and then it's just an awkward situation where Zhonghoon needs to really help him push that wave out, get it underneath the tower so that he can reset, but Finn sticks around, tries to ward the brush, but he ends up warding and face-checking Sejuani, and that costs him his life. This means Chasey should be able to get himself 2 plates. The gold lead now balloons to 1.5k in the isolated 1v1, and that's really where the gold lead is sitting. When you look at the bottom of your screen, you can see that it's even across the boards. Farm, gold, everything looking good. Zhonghoon should get spotted.
He does. Hook goes wide, though. You do have Elyoya here, but a flash from Hylissang keeps himself relatively healthy. He needed to do that early because, like we said earlier, if the miasma goes down, you ain't getting out.
So there's a brief delay between... Hang on.
Oh, Karzi, he doesn't have great guns. He can't get away from this one. He heals the Twin Fang, and and Younghoon gets himself the kill. Finally, the Rat finds his mark.
The grounding is just so effective when paired up with the Vi and against a Thresh as well. You just can't use anything. You can't move. You have to just get out of the space before you can escape. And the flash in from Jonghoon was enough. Now the dive is being threatened.
They've got a flash on 113. They've also just got level 6 on Younghoon, who's got himself Rat-a-tat-tat. They don't have the petrifying gaze. Good flay though. The miasma comes in. They're going to get the grounded down. The Thresh goes over. That's going to be a kill there as we can see the Azir come in. Niski finally becoming a part of this fight. Gets a nice little bit of a shielding though, as he might turn back onto him. Kami trying to go for it, but Niski matches. 113 now, isolated with one Elyoya, but now Jonghoon flash from 113 keeps him going nicely there. Dayor with the Radiant Virtue doing so much, and it ends up going positively for Astralis.
Wow, Astralis walk away with all the kills. They did have to lose Kobe in the exchange, but the shield from Dayor was so clutch to keep Jonghoon alive, which then set it for 113 and Jonghoon to kill the isolated Elyoya, who really thought that he could get the kill into 113. A crazy skirmish in the bot side of the map that Chasey, where a lot of the gold is sitting, couldn't get involved, and then you look back at the bot lane, you look at the gold differences again, and you can see that Astralis is continuing to mount leads.
I was just about to say, looking at the gold difference, despite this Twitch roaming around, not being in the lane to try and soak up, you know, the stacks on his support item and also the XP, he just got a couple of kills, so now he's got the Nash's too. He's going full AP onto this, which means that coming around this dragon fight, this Twitch is a relative threat.
Yep, I'm going to have a quick look at the ultimate cooldown. It's about 15 seconds as the dragon is started off. 113 sitting in the fog of war. Can we see what Mad sees, please, observers? As the fight is getting closer. So they're going to lose this position. Astralis fights their way back in, but Mad is afraid of the potential collapse.
Chasey just got his TP off cooldown. That's why Finn's chasing him on the mini-map. He needs to make sure that this Cassante can't join. Hook goes wide. Dragon down to 1,000. Oh, nicely secured there by Mad. Smites did not come out for 113, but now the fight is going to look to try and ensue. Dayor flashes forward, looking to try and just be a nuisance. He's a tank, remember, on this Karma, and they get one. Hylissang is dead. Finally, Chasey joins. He didn't need a TP after all. They're trying to jump in on top of this. It's Sejuani is dead. It's jungler for jungler. Now Finn onto Karzi, who flashes away and keeps himself ticking. That is Mad Lions getting the dragon, and not only that, they get the fight, and now Niski jumps onto the little rat. The last time you will get a kill, and he gets himself a shutdown.
Wow. The fact that Mad Lions walked away as the victors of that fight is incredible. That did not look good at all initially, but too many individual mistakes from Astralis came out. The fight became too scattered, and Mad was able to turn it around with just some great target focus. And keep your eyes on Dayor at the start of this fight. He's actually going to flash in to initiate as Elyoya. He's going to throw out the ultimate, sure, but this isn't really the start of the fight. It's right here where Dayor flashes in that they commit, because this is where Mad gets split up. On the top side, they're getting that kill onto Hylissang. Elyoya gets incredibly low, and you think the team fight is won, but Chasey turns around and kills 113. Finn gets isolated from the team. This wall stops Astralis from being able to support their top laner, and one by one, Mad just pick apart Astralis, securing this additional kill onto Jonghoon as well. Niski, kind of the unsung hero in that fight, while his ultimate didn't really knock anyone back, it created this space of terrain with which Astralis couldn't play around.
You can see the damage graph there. The Twitch was significant. Jonghoon was putting out work, but just compared to Niski's Azir, just so much there. And this is kind of similar to game number 1. He's just farming up, getting himself items, becoming relevant. And
look at the total damage.
Yeah.
He's actually done the highest on his team so far.
He has been the most active, I will say. But we come back to live. It is a 1,500 gold lead in favor of Mad. 2 dragons now. We have another Hex Soul in this series, as the next Rift Herald will go in favor of Mad as well. Chasey will find himself the rat. Just keep himself nice and informed.
So, as the game kind of results in this cross mat, Finn, yeah, he's going to back away from that one, unsurprisingly. A quick reminder to those at home, if you've just booted into Champion Select, you're going to want to ban Twitch right now.
Right about
now.
Don't
hesitate, just ban them. The moment we showed those damage numbers, a lot of people just said, huh, so support can be fun.
Yeah.
And,
as if it wasn't already like completely messed up with Ashe, Heimerdinger, Jhin, Kalista, Caitlyn.
Yep. So just as a quick PSA, You're going to want to do that. Quick tower goes down in favor of Mad Lions, which will result in the 2-0 tower lead, a 3k gold advantage as well. A lot of that sitting on top of Niski right now. Once again, having a great Azir performance. The grounding doesn't quite come through. But Astralis not out of this game yet. Their scaling's still very good. You have to recognize that while they do have a lot of AP damage, which may be problematic, Cassio of Twitch is scary.
Yes.
And the fact that you have this Karma providing that support as the game progresses, this is a very dangerous Baron taking team. This is one good team fight away from snowballing the game out of control. And yeah, it's a composition that definitely can't afford to be underestimated. In terms of executing the team fights, Mads is a lot easier. There's a lot of individual agency on the side of Mad's composition with Azir, the wall, and the space. We've already seen a great example of what it can do. They have a much easier time starting off the fights because of Elyoya's ultimate and Chasey's disruption capabilities. So in terms of compositions, Mad's much easier to play, but if you dive into a Cassio, you're only making her life easy.
Yeah, and you mentioned as well, obviously, a lot of AP. Not really any kind of magic resistance to be really seen.
Not yet.
Not yet. And of course, you look at Chasey, he's got himself the Sunfire Aegis just finished up there. Of course, the
He's only got 55 right now.
I was going to say, that does come passively from the Mythic, so he does get himself
Right.
a little bit, but
True.
it is not going to be that significant to try and, you know, stop this shredding from coming out. 40 seconds until the dragon spawns. You can see Mad are saying, look, we're strong right now. We know we can force you off of objectives. It's the Cassio who is the real threat.
Cassio making their way down. The Azir turret will come out, but that's just buying a little bit of time. Baron in a minute, and Dragon in 30 seconds means that Mad's main goal is to push out mid.
Not great guns for Karzi right now. You can see he wants to try and maybe burn through those before this dragon fight really kicks off, but Elyoya pressuring in that side of the jungle. Top side was pushed in, so Astralis are going to have some lost farm in the top lane as they try and just get vision in on this dragon pit.
Yeah, observers, can we see what Astralis sees right now? How much control they actually have? They've managed to make their way into the river. The Scuttle Crab is going to be super valuable. But you can see how they're playing through bot right now as Mad control mids. Thank you so much, observers. The person you have to keep your eyes on is Zhonghun. His access to the backline is something that's very dangerous. As I say that, Mad have found a way into the backline.
Hook goes wide, and that's not going to be Finn there. Jonghoon using those Hex Gates to get himself onto the backside, and they have to be aware of that. You can see Niski immediately moves himself to intercept. Dragon has been started down to about 2/3 of its HP. Dior realizes he needs to be the tank that moves forward. Jonghoon and Finn swap position. Jonghoon is invisible for the moment. They don't know exactly where the rat is. He's going to find a little bit of a mark. Flash forward by 113 does not land onto anything. They can burn down the jungler, and it's exactly what they're going to do. Chasey can't move. He's on the miasma. The heal from Karzi keeps him alive. And now you can see them move forward. Flash in. Double counter-strike, and now Mad Lions, they are not in control of this fight. They are on the wrong side of the rift as Dayor flashes forward, looking to finish off some of these health bars. You get a great ultimate there from the Azir as he tries to stay alive, but Betty, they're on the wrong side. They can't survive this right now, and everyone from Mad Lions, one by one, little by little, is falling.
Mad Lions doing what they can to escape, but the chase is on for Astralis. The Baron is up as well, and 113 has come back out onto the map. The more time they buy, the more stagger, or the more they can do to stagger these death timers, rather, only makes securing this Baron easier. Elyoya is still alive, and the health bars aren't that high. Chasey has come back in with the TP, and Mad are not giving this one up.
Here we go, Astralis. They start off the Baron. We saw this go pretty badly for them in game number 1. Let's see if they can secure it this time around. They are shredding it is still. Cassio gets jumped